Panthers Perspective podcast. In this episode, we look at two differing perspectives on the pandemic, one from the point of view of a student and one from the view of a teacher. Our first speaker is college freshman Shayla Deeter, interviewed by Josie Deeter. Let's see what they have to say.
Hello, I'm Josie Deeter from the Panther Press, and I'm here with Shayla Deeter, who is a freshman at Edinburgh University. Good morning, Shayla.
Good morning.
I have a few questions I'd like to ask you.
All right.
What gave you the greatest comfort during the pandemic?
The greatest comfort I had was probably FaceTiming people that I'm closest to or that I love the most, because obviously I couldn't go and see them, so it just kind of gave me comfort to know that they were still there even if they physically couldn't be there. And also the fact that this whole world is going through the pandemic, so I'm not alone in this situation.
Can you share an interesting quarantine story or event that happened to you?
Yesterday, actually, I was supposed to go to my boyfriend's family's house, and we were going to go look at Christmas lights. Well, little did I know, I got surprised because my boyfriend came home, and he's been in the Army for 6 months, and I teared up, I was crying, it was great.
Who have you become closer to as a result of the pandemic?
Probably my family, even though we all did our separate things, like our parents still have to work, and then we have school, except for me because I'm on winter break. We still made sure to bond with each other, and I think it made us closer.
How has your routine or schedule changed as a result of the pandemic?
My sleep schedule definitely changed. I stay up till like 2 or 3 in the morning now, and sleep until like 11, which isn't good, but also, my eating schedule has changed since I wake up later. I don't eat breakfast anymore. I just eat lunch and dinner, and then I snack all night. And I also don't get ready like I used to when I had school. I kind of just wear the same clothes over and over.
How is your college experience different from what you thought it would be?
Honestly, I thought it would be a little bit easier just because since we're online, we had Zoom calls for some classes, but then other classes you didn't have any Zoom calls with the teachers, so they didn't teach you. You had to do stuff on your own. And honestly, that was harder for me than what would probably be in person or on the Zoom calls with all the teachers.
Thank you for your time. This is Josie Deeter signing off.
Thank you, Josie and Shayla. Our next speaker is physical education teacher Mr. Pat Bradshaw, interviewed by Paisley Mangold.
Hello, this is Paisley Mangold here with Mr. Bradshaw. How are you doing today?
Oh, it's a great day.
Okay, so I have a few questions to ask you regarding the pandemic. How has your routine or schedule changed?
Schedule has changed. We moved to hybrid, so it's changed personally for me with my kids, and then how we learn and how we do stuff in gym classes changed also. It's definitely changed as far as the things that we can do and we're able to do. You know, we can't really do a lot of physical activity, and that was a big part of gym class and my health class. So that's definitely been a change. It's, you know, trying to keep people motivated to stay active can be difficult when we're not allowed to. So, yeah.
What gave you the greatest comfort during this time?
Being in a small school here, I know other schools across the state and across the country, they shut down completely, you know, even the second time around. So I was kind of grateful to live where we live, and we had a small shutdown, but then they, you know, we don't have a lot of number of cases being spread in the school per se, so they modified the schedule, and we're able to come back and have some bit of reality or what we used to have.
What is something good that's happened to you during the pandemic?
I'm a busybody during the pandemic, so it just kind of forced me to slow down, spend extra time with my family, which typically I'm always coaching.
Mm-hmm.
So that that was probably, in hindsight, my kids are young. I was able to spend more time with them and just be with them and not have to run quite like I've been doing. So that was a good part of it, I guess.
And last, when you look back on the pandemic in 20 years, what do you hope to be able to say about it?
I think that the landscape of education will have changed from this time. There's certain things computers, boom, they came out, that was a big change. So for brick and mortar schools, versus online schooling, I think that's going to be the biggest change coming out of this pandemic for me as a teacher and as an educator. How, like iPads, that was a big thing. And then my guess is, pretty soon it'll be, you get your iPad and you get your own personal hotspot. So there's no days where students go without education. That's just like, we'll see what goes on, but I think that's been the biggest change.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have for you. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Nope. I think you got to look for the positives, even in the worst of times. I think this has been a hard time, but you always got to look for the positives in it. So, that's it.
Yes, for sure. This is Paisley Mangold signing off.
Thank you, Mr. Bradshaw and Paisley. That concludes our episode for this week. Make sure to stay tuned for episode 4. Remember to stay safe, and as always, hang in there, Seckertown.